1,617 crew members, 16 division commanders, 43 subordinate crews. These numbers tell a story most One Piece fans miss. Whitebeard's organizational structure was mathematically brilliant, a flat hierarchy where division numbers didn't indicate authority. Today we're decoding this crew that operated like a perfectly synchronized machine. This wasn't just a pirate crew, it was a revolutionary organizational structure which was unstoppable. Why would you throw away the command structure that every other powerful pirate crew uses? Most crews operate like armies. They have clear chains of command. Big Mom assigns suite commanders. Kaido gives the All-Stars top authority. Higher rank means more power. Whitebeard flipped that entire system. Division Commander 16 held the same authority as Division Commander 1. Marco had no more say in crew decisions than the commander of the lowest numbered division. That numbering system gave them operational zones, not a power ladder. That flat hierarchy solved the backstabbing problem other crews face. Kaido's crew dealt with Queen and King's constant bickering. Big Mom's commanders jostled for position and influence, but Whitebeard's commanders never fought for status because their ranks were equal from the start. Even the offer to become a division commander worked differently. When Teach was offered a commander position after his long service, he turned it down. He didn't want the responsibility. Look at how Blackbeard rebuilt this structure after taking Whitebeard's territory. He immediately created a traditional hierarchy, Titanic captains with numbered positions. He understood the original system's power but couldn't replicate its culture, so he defaulted to the familiar chain of command. Whitebeard's refusal to create a traditional power structure meant commanders stayed focused on the crew's mission instead of internal politics. Status came from contribution, not title. That's why all 16 commanders could lead separate operations across the New World, yet coordinate perfectly when needed. They didn't need to wait for orders from above, they just acted as equals, united by a single purpose. How do you build a genuine family from 1,000 hardened pirates? Whitebeard united dozens of races, former enemies, and people from completely different backgrounds under one flag. His crew included fishmen, exiled royalty, and ex-rivals who tried to kill each other before joining. Other large crews used control methods that backfired constantly. Big Mom ruled through fear and arranged political marriages. Her children obeyed but never trusted her completely. Kaido's crew followed him because they feared his strength, not because they loved him. Whitebeard did the opposite. Every single member became his child. New recruits, division commanders, even the ship's cooks all called him Pops. When Ace joined, he didn't become a subordinate. He gained a father and 16 older brothers. Consider Squad's betrayal at Marineford. He stabbed Whitebeard because he believed the world government's lies about Ace's deal. The instant he realized his mistake, the guilt destroyed him. That scene shows the psychological power of Whitebeard's family system. The pain of betraying a father hurt more than any punishment. The infrastructure supported this family structure. Whitebeard maintained one of the best medical teams on the seas. Nurses and doctors travelled with the crew. When members got injured, they received immediate care. The Moby Dick itself functioned as a mobile home with private quarters, kitchens, and common areas designed for community living. This system created loyalty stronger than blood relations, because every member chose this family. They weren't born into it or forced to join. That voluntary commitment meant crew members would die for each other without hesitation. External forces couldn't break these bonds because they weren't based on fear or obligation. The emotional architecture made them an unbreakable unit that operated on trust rather than commands. How do you get 43 independent pirate captains to follow one man without giving them orders? Subordinate crews typically operate under threat. Big Mom would destroy islands that refused her protection. Kaido crushed anyone who challenged his authority. These emperors ruled through fear and demanded tribute. Whitebeard's approach was completely different. His subordinate captains were former rivals who'd fought against him and gained his respect. They chose to follow him because they believed in his vision, not because they feared his power. His protection system worked without exploitation. When Whitebeard protected Fishman Island, he didn't demand payments or resources. He simply flew his flag and said, "This place is under my protection." The island kept its autonomy while gaining security from slavers and other pirates. Consider Jinbei's relationship with Whitebeard. He respected Whitebeard and Luffy enough to risk his life for Ace. That kind of loyalty doesn't come from fear. It comes from genuine respect earned through consistent actions. This network extended Whitebeard's influence across the New World without requiring constant supervision. His subordinate captains managed their own territories while coordinating with the main fleet. They didn't need daily orders because they understood Whitebeard's principles and operated accordingly. This decentralized system allowed Whitebeard to project power across enormous distances without the administrative burden of traditional empires. His subordinate captains maintained local control while remaining ready to unite under his banner when necessary. They operated like independent cells in a larger network, each empowered to make decisions while staying connected to the core family. Marineford tested Whitebeard's entire organizational philosophy under the most extreme conditions imaginable. The world government assembled 3 admirals, multiple warlords, and over 100,000 marine soldiers. They controlled the terrain, planned for every contingency, and executed a near-flawless strategic setup. In conventional military terms, this should have been an easy victory. Military doctrine favors rigid hierarchies in large-scale engagements because clear chains of command prevent confusion. The Marines followed this model perfectly. Every soldier knew their role and who to report to. Whitebeard's crew should have been at a massive disadvantage with their flat command structure, an emphasis on individual initiative, but that's not what happened. The division commanders operated with perfect coordination despite the chaos. Marco took control of the skies, intercepting Kizaru's attacks and directing aerial defense. Jozu handled the ground assault, breaking through marine formations and creating openings for others. Vista engaged Mihawk directly without waiting for permission. Each commander assessed the battlefield and made decisions independently, yet their actions complemented each other perfectly. The family bonds proved stronger than the threat of death. Not a single division commander retreated, even when facing certain defeat. Crew members sacrificed themselves without hesitation to protect their brothers. When Squad betrayed Whitebeard, it was the exception that proved the rule. His immediate regret showed how deeply the familial loyalty ran. The world government understood they needed overwhelming force because Whitebeard's organizational structure made his crew exponentially more dangerous. They weren't just fighting individual pirates. They were fighting a single organism with 16 independent decision-making centers that all shared one goal. The Marines' rigid hierarchy couldn't adapt quickly enough to the fluid, decentralized response. While Whitebeard's system didn't win the battle, they achieved their primary objective. They gave Ace a fighting chance. No traditional pirate crew could have accomplished that against such odds. The structure held under pressure that would have shattered any other organization in the One Piece world. My take is that Whitebeard's real strength was never just his devil fruit or his individual power. He built a revolutionary system that turned pirates into family and loyalty into a weapon. That's why the world government feared him more than any single fighter. He created something that could outlive him. His legacy wasn't a territory or treasure, but his pirate family.